Hey guys, it's churches, graveyards and graves on this really hot day, and I am in St Bartholomew's in Church Minshull. I'm trying to make sure I say that correctly because sometimes some of these names I don't know. But here I am at St Bartholomew's in Church Minshull. So I brought you to this church. It's not a particularly spectacular church, not compared to some of the others we've looked at, but all of them are interesting. So I'm going to show you this. It's got a few interesting features and a couple of interesting graves. So firstly, you can see behind me that this church is made of red brick. A lot of churches aren't, to be honest, so this is unusual. One of the reasons was it was destroyed in about 1667, or it was very badly damaged in a bit of a storm. So it was repaired then after that in around 1702 and 1720s, and then in the 19th century it had a little bit more restoration. Like a lot of churches, they've been added to, they've been restored, and you can still see some of their features. So I'm just going to turn it around. You can just see the graveyard behind me as I turn around and show you some of its features and have a look at some of its graves. So this is interesting, as you can see, because this is what they call the neoclassical style. So obviously it's supposed to look a bit like a Greek temple. The pillars and the structure of it over there. And also you can see that the clock was restored. We're next to a busy road, so I'm hoping you can hear me. And it's got these lovely we haven't got the normal Gothic architecture here, but we've got these ball things on top. You can see them. So this is a very, very different style, much more minimalistic, like say the neoclassical style. And I just want to take you around a little bit so you can see the church, because I'm going to show you a couple of other things as we go. So you can see the windows, and here we have a sundial. Again, it's from the same period, I'd say. It's got its genome. Some of them seem to be missing them, and you can actually see the top of it there. It's actually got the name of the church on, and if you read it properly, you'll probably be able to work out what time it is, if you can work out what time it is. So that's the sundial. Okay, we're going to carry on a little bit further because there's something around here that I want to show you. A lot of the graves seem to have been removed, but I want to show you this. So I'm going to read this out to you because it was quite interesting, but we haven't got the full story. But it seems like that this grave told the story itself a little bit. So, here this place lie interred the bodies of Thomas Minshull, late of Erdswick in the county of Chester, Esquire, and Alice's wife, who was daughter of James Trollope of Thurby in the county of Lincoln. They left 2 sons and 5 daughters, and this monument is erected by their 3 surviving daughters in dutiful remembrance of parents upright and just in all their ways. Both they and their children suffered great wrongs by unjust people. He was loyal to his king and true to his country. His mother was sister to Sir Edward Feiston, I think that is, of Gainsworth in Cheshire, who suffered for King Charles the First of blessed memory. I'm going to turn this. Yeah, so I wanted to mention this because obviously the bodies are here. Although this isn't the exact grave, this seems to be a monument erected by his daughters to this family. But it tells you something. It says that they were unjustly treated. And you can see that they were really loyal to king and country. So this area was big on the Civil War. So I mentioned it, didn't I, in the last video I did, at Northwich, that there was the musket balls, and there was a lot of fighting around here between the royalists and the parliamentarians. Now, most of Cheshire was actually royalist, and this seems to denote that. When the parliamentarians took over, it's likely that this family were unjustly treated, although we're not exactly sure how, whether they were arrested, whether the lands were taken away, we don't exactly know. But we do know that they were obviously royalists, because it kind of says that, because it says that they remained, they suffered for King Charles the First of blessed memory. And as anybody who knows about English history knows, King Charles the First got his head lopped off. Well, hopefully that's not going to happen to our King Charles now, but anyway, it did happen at the time. Yeah, so when the parliamentarians took over, so Cheshire is one of those places. So it looks like that this grave, this monument anyway, is something to do with that, and you know, a bit of that history. And there was just a lot of fighting at the time going on, and there was a lot of poverty at the time, so you can understand that, you know, and these were obviously, you know, a rich family. So, and a lot of the parliamentarians were not from rich families, so that's quite interesting. So we're going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to show you a few more little bits just before we switch off. Let me just turn. We're going around the back, and I just wanted to show you. So this is in the back. At the back, we've got the water butt here, and then obviously there's a modern graveyard down here. And again, you can see this door with the neoclassical architecture. This is right at the back end of the church, and obviously this, you can see the difference here. There's the old red brick, and obviously this is new. So that's been an extension. But I just want to show you this particular grave. It's right in the back, and it's hard to even like spot, but I thought it was worth a mention for you. So if you look at the top of this, you can just make it out. Look at this. That's the top of a sword, and it looks like this is a cloak, and you can see that. I just wanted to show you, and it looks like some sort of like flag covering it, and obviously the sword. And then you can just about make out here, it says here, sacred to the beloved memory of Charles Luxmore Brooke of Ashdock Hall, Church Minshall, late captain of Her Majesty's 37th Regiment, born June the 4th 1822 and died January the 9th 1890. So this guy was a captain of Her Majesty's 37th Regiment. So this is what this would have been. So again, he wasn't just a soldier, he was a captain of this regiment. Obviously an important person. It doesn't tell us whether he died in battle or not, but you don't often find these markings. This is obviously military markings, so that's of interest to you, I hope. And you can also see the railings. And then the other area of interest in this church is the entranceway with those beautiful ornate ironwork. So I'm just coming up to that now. Okay. So you can see the beautiful ornate ironwork over there. Okay. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. So I'll just flip it round in a minute. So you've got a bit of war history there with the Civil War, and you've got a little bit of war history with that captain from the 37th Regiment, and this beautiful neoclassical church. So this is St Bartholomew's in Church Minshall. From Churches, Graveyards and Graves, see you soon.